Hey guys, Mike the Vike here, back for yet another Rust update video. I am very excited to showcase this week because we have some amazing changes in my opinion. Definitely one of the greatest updates we've seen in ages. The biggest change this week is without a doubt the new Building 3.0 system. Now before we get into it, if you are interested in seeing more Rust update videos from me, please let me know by leaving a like on the video. Helps out tremendously. The first big change has to do with building on any kind of hill or uneven surface. In the past, when you wanted to build on a hill, it got kind of difficult. Well, now they've made it so that when you're placing a foundation, it has two separate kind of spots it can click onto. So there's a lower level and then there's a higher level. So you can see here on a normal foundation, I wouldn't be able to do this, but I could just boom, pop up to that, and now I've got a base. Now I can upgrade this to stone. And, you know, we're going there. Now, in addition to this, we also have a new block, which is the half wall. Currently, it's the same cost as a full wall, which is interesting, but it also is the same health. Anyway, so you can now place these down and kind of make up for that space. So if I fill this in, this now looks just like a normal wall. So we're going to hopefully see a lot more bases on hillsides and stuff, and potentially more creative designs. I've already seen a lot of interesting stuff on Reddit about ways to use this new half wall. Of course, it's very similar to the old half block. You can place floors on it, which is definitely interesting. And yeah, I know that there's lots of nifty designs already, and I'm sure there's going to be plenty more. The next major change is going to be with the TCs. So in the past, when you placed down a TC, there was a radius of like 25 meters or so around it, and anything you place within that radius, you have building privilege. This is no longer a thing, kinda. So now if any entity that you build is connected to this TC, you will have building priv. So I built all the way down here, and you can see, if I fly all the way down here, I still have building priv access, which is kind of nifty. Now, there is still a radius, per se, around every item. You can see I still have build priv to, like, around here, I think. So, yeah, so something like this. So keep that in mind. Now, with this new TC feature, they also rolled out a totally game-changing system for building in general. I think it's going to have a massive impact on base building, as you'll soon find out. So, when you go up to a TC, you press E on it, and you now have a loot box actually, but you're gonna see here that there is an upkeep management kind of system here. So you can see that everything that I have placed down here within this TC's building priv area, everything connected to it, there's gonna be a cost to maintain it. Okay, I forgot to say this in the moment, but the reason the TC now has a storage box is obviously you deposit the stone and stuff and the upkeep costs into the TC so that it automatically maintains your base, and then if you run out of resources for that upkeep cost, that's when your base is going to start decaying. So whatever couple pieces of stone I have here, and then of course I guess all the wood for this twig stuff, it will cost me 500 stone and 300 wood per 24 hours. Now that's pretty cheap, of course, because there isn't much going on here. But if, for example, I make a little, let's say, okay, so I'm building a mock, like, what is this? 4 by something, 4 by 3-ish, like it's a bit of a mess. But this 4 by 3 thingy will cost me 2,000 stone and 400 wood and 25 metal frags per 24 hours. Now that doesn't sound like much, but that's also because it's a small base. The whole reason they added this, I think, is because it's going to have the biggest impact on massive bases. I think we're going to see a lot less big bases after this update because it's just going to cost way too much to maintain your massive 10 by 10 Zerg base, you know? Now this also has side benefits because if people are building smaller bases, this means there's going to be less entities on the server as a whole, which means potentially, you know, we won't have to do weekly map wipes like most people do. So like literally this is game changing because it could mean if this holds up that, you know, maybe we'll be able to see like monthly map wipes or something cool like that. Now, as this system is brand new, we're getting a lot of complaints because, of course, a lot of people are saying it's a little bit too expensive to upkeep your base. And, you know, they may very well be right. You know, it's a brand new system. The devs said this themselves. Of course, it's going to have time to kind of tweak it. Oh, also another major change with this thing. This also kind of kills any kind of double walling or honeycombing stuff that you used to do in the past. And then even if you figured out how to do it, you would have to have a separate TC on every single piece since it's not physically connected to your main TC. So they essentially killed double walling and wall stacking, which I totally approve of personally. The next major change is they made upgrading to armored tier a heck of a lot cheaper. In the past, it cost 50 high qual, 400 stone, and 300 wood to go to armored. Now it only costs 25 high qual, which is significantly cheaper. Now this also goes in kind of with the new building system because the higher tier your building is, the longer it's going to take for your base to decay. So there's kind of more incentive to upgrade to the higher tiers now. Next up, they buffed frag grenades. Now these things feel a heck of a lot snappier to throw, and they now have that velocity thing where if you're sprinting, the grenade actually throws further than normal. They've also implemented a new road generation system. From what I can see, the main thing they fixed is the transitions from different types of roads. So you can see like going onto the rad towns or the monuments, it looks a lot smoother and more realistic. They also rolled out a new kind of more gritty, broken down road texture. Definitely an improvement. Another awesome thing they added is the new junkyard. This one they ended up making really quick, which is awesome. It's definitely got a different vibe to most rad towns these days. It's got a lot more kind of PvP focus, I would say, because you have to kind of follow these certain paths, and it's going to be very interesting to loot this place. The only thing I would say is it definitely feels a little bit out of place, like in terms of the transition from the normal map into the junkyard. Like it feels so kind of just dropped in, and I think we should see some more gradual textures in terms of like the dirt color and stuff. Like look at that divide, you know, it's so obviously just plopped in. They also added a whole bunch of new quarry outposts, so you can see we've got an HQM one, we got a stone. There's a sulfur one somewhere. Where is it? Now the cool thing about these quarries is they're actual proper monuments, you know? Like it's not just a chillin' quarry. They also added these really nice sniping outposts that you can find at these quarries. Definitely really cool. I would love to build one of these things myself. They look awesome. And as you can see, you can build around these things too, which is definitely interesting. So I'm sure we'll see a lot of people trying to hold these things off. Here's what the stone quarry looks like. I appreciate that they made like separate kind of monuments for every single one. Definitely looks solid. They went ahead and reworked the texture for the small furnace. It's definitely got a legacy vibe going on to it, which is kind of cool. Hapis Island received another big revamp. They've added a launch site to it, they've added the ice sheets and the icebergs, they've added a bunch of stuff. They've essentially kind of upgraded it so that it has all the modern features from procedural map system. The funny thing is, I don't know a lot of people that play on Hapis personally. I think there needs to be more incentive to actually check it out. Now, Gary Newman, the man himself, finally removed peer-to-peer voice chat. I actually thought they removed this thing a while ago, but then I discovered that's not the case. The main problem with peer-to-peer is it makes it especially easy to find someone's IP and DDoS the heck out of them. In the past, you could literally just be in that person's vicinity and you could get their IP. It was very bad, but thankfully that's no longer a thing because voice chat is now done through the server, which is a godsend. Thank you. Min has been experimenting with some cool water effects. Right now when you shoot like the water, you don't see anything on the water splashies. So you can see they're messing around with a whole bunch of them. Definitely looks great. And that's going to be everything for this week in Rust. I skipped a few things because I tried to keep it focused on the big ones. I hope that's okay. But yeah, definitely one of the greatest updates in a while. That Building 3.0 system could be revolutionary for Rust, and I'm very excited to see how it plays out. But what do you guys think of the system overall? Do you hate it? Do you wish the game was XP system with no CCs at all or something like that? With that said, that's going to be everything for this video. Hopefully it was helpful for you guys. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.